Hugh Jackman slices it up for the last time, and the a-holes are back. Let's run that intro. Hey everyone, Mighty Mr. Mooresky here. Welcome back to the channel. And the past couple of days have been amazing for comic book fans, especially Marvel comic book fans. Because we got trailers. Well, one was a teaser, one you could class as a full trailer. But overall, we got two trailers for upcoming 2017 Marvel movies. Now, the first one I'm going to talk about is from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's from Marvel Studios. And then the second one is from 20th Century Fox. But for a 20th Century Fox film, it actually looks good. So let's start off with the first one, with the Marvel Studios trailer. And that was for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, earlier yesterday, today is Thursday, but yesterday we had a teaser poster for Volume 2, and I'm going to bring it up on screen right now. This is the teaser poster for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So as you can see, that looks pretty cool. It's got all the guys and girls on there. You know, we've got Star-Lord, Drax, Rocket, and Gamora back. Little Groot is there on Star-Lord's boot. He's hiding literally right behind his boot. And two new members are added to the roster. Nebula is on the far end, so something obviously happens either between the two movies or during Volume 2 that suddenly makes her switch sides. So she's no longer siding with Thanos, although she appeared to not like Thanos that much if you listened and paid attention to the first one. But something makes her switch sides and team up with the Guardians. So she's there. And of course, Yondu is on the team, and he's got his larger head fin. Now, I mean, I'm not going to pretend I know a lot about Guardians because before the film, I had no idea who they were. I had never heard of them. Um, you know, 4 years ago, you could have shown me a picture of Groot and said, "Who's that?" And I wouldn't have a clue. But now you can show me a picture of Groot, I know who he is, and quite a few people. Now, you may think that's sad, but, you know, the main comics I was into when I was a kid was Spider-Man, so cut me some slack. So that was the poster. Now, the teaser trailer, I can't show you the teaser trailer because I don't want to get into copyright problems, and it'll be the same for the next trailer, but it looks incredible. It reuses the soundtrack from the first movie trailer, from what was the song? Hooked on a Feeling. It reuses Hooked on a Feeling, which is fantastic, and keeps the same font, but they've changed the color. It's now purple instead of golden yellow kind of shade. And we get a few good action shots of Gamora jumping into action, Star-Lord with his guns starting up his mask. We see Yondu and Rocket walking together while there's a load of, I think, Ravagers falling around them. Nebula being unhooded or dehooded, whatever the term is, revealing herself. And then it gets to the, you know, the moment of saying, you know, I'm hooked on a feeling. I apologize. This is why I don't go on X Factor, or if I was in the States, America's Got Talent, or American Idol. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what the American equivalent of X Factor is. And then it goes on to Drax saying there are two types of beings in the universe: those that dance and those that do not. And Star-Lord saying, "I get it. I'm a dancer. Gamora isn't." To which Drax replies, "You just need to find yourself a woman who is pathetic, just like you." Obviously, Star-Lord says, "Well, thanks." And this is funny. Drax going, "Do you need a hug?" No. And just gives him one anyway. Like, I'm sure I said no. Which, funnily enough, it ties back to something about the first film, but I'll get to that. Then it obviously comes up saying coming soon. Now, we know it will be about summer 2017. It's basically a case of we get Spider-Man Homecoming in the spring, the first third of 2017. We get Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 in the summer, halfway through, in the second third. And then we get Thor Ragnarok in the final third of 2017. So we get three Marvel Cinematic Universe movies coming out in that year in different parts of the year. But Guardians, I reckon, will get quite a turnout. And then the final shot is Rocket has shot someone, and then who appears on his shoulder? It's Baby Groot. Now, now let's talk about that. I mean, what I wanted to go back to, and yeah, I know I got a notification from Facebook, so I apologize if the sound went a bit iffy then. But when I saw the stuff for the first movie, I thought Drax was going to be a stick in the mud. I thought he was going to be a really miserable character. He'd have nothing memorable. He was just there as muscle. But actually, in the same case as with the Hulk, he had some funny moments. He had quite some funny moments, especially the metaphor stuff, which there's that story about the little boy who I think had autism, something like that. Um, and the whole thing of saying, metaphors going over his head, nothing goes over my head, my reflexes are too fast. That's brilliant. That is being a hero right there. Um, Now, on to Baby Groot. Now, I know a lot of people are probably wondering, it's been 3 years. When it comes out, it will have been 3 years since Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, as I'm going to call it. It's been 3 years since that came out. So why is Groot about this big? Why is he tiny? You know, shouldn't he be, bigger, like 7 to 10 feet? Shouldn't he be a lot bigger than what is in the trailer? The reason behind that, and I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's to do with the timing. Now, yes, it's been 3 years since the film came out. Filmmaking does take time. But Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 takes place literally a couple of months after the first one. So by the time Volume 2 comes around, the setting, it will take place about the same time as Avengers: Age of Ultron and Ant-Man, which both were released in 2015. Um, or even just a little bit before. But Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 takes place practically straight after Volume 1. So there's no long wait and suddenly Groot going from a potted plant to being a full grown tree humanoid. Um, it just makes sense, which means that not Gamora, that Nebula will probably be missing her hand. If you remember from the first film, she chopped off her own hand to drop down off Ronan's ship, and then she stole a Ravager ship and flew off. That way we knew she was coming back for a sequel. But we didn't know what was going to happen. Now we know she's going to join the team, and also Mantis is going to join the team. Mantis appeared to be absent from this teaser, but she could appear in future teasers and future trailers, or they may be doing a similar case to with Vision for Age of Ultron and Spider-Man for Civil War. They're going to try and keep her secret-ish until a certain trailer. Now, with Vision, we knew he was going to be in Age of Ultron. We had a rough idea of what he looked like because there was the multi-piece poster that showed him. And then we had the trailer that literally showed just that section of him as he kind of with his eyes closed, and then boom. That was all we saw of Vision. And then we saw the movie, and Vision was really cool. And then, of course, in Civil War. For Spider-Man, again, we knew Spider-Man was going to be in Civil War. We didn't know how long he was going to be in it, what he was going to do, what was going to happen, and we didn't know what he looked like until that trailer, which is probably the best trailer for Civil War, which showed him flipping over Captain America while Iron Man is saying Underoos, stealing the shield, landing the pose, and saying, "Hey everyone," which is where I get my video intro from. Me saying, "Hey everyone," comes from Spider-Man because he's my favorite character. Despite the fact that I'm wearing a Captain America hoodie. Go figure. Um, but yeah, Marvel do like to keep some characters secret. They like to let us know, oh yeah, this character is going to be in the movie, but we're not going to let you know what he looks like or what they look like until this. Maybe it's a piece of concept art that's released, a poster that teases the character, a trailer that full on shows the character and gets your mind racing, thinking, oh, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? You know. So I think that's going to be the case with Mantis. They're going to keep her secret until a future trailer, and then they're going to fully reveal her. That's what I'm thinking. I'm just looking at the past of the MCU, and just formulating this, which is a lot of what these trailers do. They give you stuff to kind of formulate your own expectations. Um, that kind of thing. So yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, it looks like it's going to continue the trend that the first one set. And you never know if they do a third one, if they do a Volume 3. Fingers crossed James Gunn returns because he is brilliant at directing Guardians. He has the humor there that's brilliant. I know a lot of people will say, oh, that's the reason why the Marvel Cinematic Universe sucks. So what? You know, it's just, it depends on who's writing it and who's directing it, you know. But I'm not going to get into that. That's a separate video. So next up, sorry, I was just kind of stopping my screen from going to sleep. So next up, today was obviously D+1 day. So we'd had the Guardians teaser trailer. There's tons of videos on YouTube. I mean, I got YouTube on my TV right now. That's why I'm pointing over there. But at the moment, I'm just watching some video about some guys called Gamar Jabat, which are hilarious. But it was the day after the reveal. There's tons of reaction videos, a lot of videos of people saying, you know, what does this mean? What does that mean? Easter eggs you may have missed in the teaser. So it was pretty much a normal day after trailer release day. But then a bombshell came along in the form of a trailer for the new and final Wolverine movie, which I think about a week ago or a couple of days ago, we found out was going to be called simply Logan, which got people's minds thinking, oh, they're doing Old Man Logan. This is going to be the death of Wolverine, which it quite possibly could. I mean, it would make sense to kill off Wolverine, to let him die in Logan. Because I also think titling it Wolverine 3 confused a lot of people. It confused a friend of mine at college because it was like, well, hang on. If this is Wolverine 3, what happened to Wolverine 2? And I've had to say to him, you know, the Wolverine is Wolverine 2. The first one was X-Men Origins. It is a little bit confusing, kind of like the timeline. Yeah, like slight Deadpool reference. But yeah, we had the trailer for Logan today, and it was really cool. It really was. Trying to hold back a yawn, and I do a half yawn. So the first poster, I'm going to show you the poster for Logan. So this is the poster for Logan. And of course that poster set off a bit of a trend, you know, with a lot of people, even Ryan Reynolds got in on the action and said that the hand that Wolverine is holding in that poster is Deadpool's, you know, because it's the size of a KFC Spork. Um, but Obviously, people have theorized that this is X-23, which, if you didn't know, X-23, I'm pretty sure she was a female clone of Wolverine. And you're probably thinking, well, how does that work? It's Marvel. You know, in the Ultimate Comics, there was a female clone of Peter Parker that became Jessica Drew, the Spider-Woman, of the Ultimate Universe. But now the Ultimate Universe is finished. Um, I'm not entirely sure what she's got up to. I still need to catch up on all new Amazing and all new 2099. Got quite a bit of catching up to do on the new Spidey titles and Civil War 2. But X-23 is actually in the all new, all different run for Marvel. She's donned a Wolverine type costume. But yeah, this trailer, I mean, there's so much going on in it. There's so much. You know, Wolverine is showing his age. He's showing scars all along his back, so he's obviously lost his healing factor. Something has happened because I think this is set in 2024 or sometime in the 2020s. So it's in the future. And I think it takes place in the new timeline that was set up after Days of Future Past. Um, but Professor X is still alive. Jean Grey and Cyclops may still be alive, but we don't know. Um, and we don't know a lot about what characters could be in it. So that was the full yawn. Um, but we do know Caliban's going to be in it. Now, I think Caliban was in X-Men Apocalypse. I think he was the kind of pale mutant that was with Psylocke when Apocalypse came to her. Um, I'm not entirely sure on that. I mean, X-Men Apocalypse, I don't even think it's come out on DVD here yet. Um, I mean, I haven't seen it, but it might have done. Um, but yeah, we're seeing Wolverine aged, maybe even dying, may have lost his healing factor, which could mean, yes, we get Old Man Logan, which I haven't read, but we could get the death of Wolverine. And spoiler alert, in Death of Wolverine, the way he dies, he has lost his healing factor prior. So that means every time he brings out his claws, it really slices him up and it really injures him. How he dies in it, he gets encased in adamantium, and because that cools down quite quick, you got to keep it liquid once you get it in liquid form. Um, it it basically hardens, and because he's lost his healing factor, it suffocates him. Because it's all over his face. He can just about move. I think he kills a guy that he was after, and then he just kneels, watches the sunset, and lets the adamantium harden, and that's the end of Wolverine. I will genuinely, if that happens in the movie, I will genuinely cry. I am not kidding. The last time I cried in the cinema was when I watched Toy Story 3. And if you've seen Toy Story 3, you know why I was crying. I still cry at Toy Story 3. No shame. I got no shame in saying that. But I will genuinely cry if they do the Death of Wolverine adamantium suffocation scene in the movie, in Logan. But we got to see some of the claw action in the trailers, sorry. And I mean, there's two versions. The version my friend saw had Wolverine on the floor with his claws out, and someone else had claws kind of coming towards him. He was holding them back, which could further prove that X-23 is going to be in Logan. The version I saw shows its R-ratedness, which in the UK, an R rating is the equivalent of a 15. Um, and that showed Wolverine doing that to a guy's chin and the claws going up through his head, and you seeing them kind of jut out of the top of his head, kind of like miniature devil horns. So they're showing that this Wolverine film is going to go out with a bloody bang. This is going to be a gore fest, I reckon. 'Cause let's face it, Deadpool was a gore fest. Not over the top gore, like say Punisher Warzone, good film, but bit over the top with the gore. Um, but Deadpool, there was a lot of blood, there was a lot of decapitations, slicing off limbs, there was a lot of blood, and a lot of violence. With Logan, I think that's going to be the case. This is going to be a complete bloodbath, pretty much like the X-Men Origins Wolverine video game, which is what the movie should have been, because there is so much blood and so much violence in that video game. That's why I got an 18 here in the UK. I'm not. I think it's an M in the US with the ESRB. With BB, we got a BBFC 18. That means it's an 18 for a reason. But I think, yeah, Logan is going to be a 15 in the UK. There's going to be a ton of blood, maybe a few more F words because we know Wolverine drops some F words. His first one was in X-Men First Class in that funny cameo. Um, then he said it again in the Wolverine. So I think Logan, he's gonna say it. It'd be great if we had a cameo from Deadpool in it, but I don't know. I don't know. There's nothing. There was nothing about it. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, Logan, I think, is going to be a complete bloodbath, and it's going to be a perfect send off for the character and the last film for Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman, he's been playing the character for 17 years. When the film comes out, it'll be 17 years he's been playing Wolverine. And let's face it, he is spot on. I know Wolverine is 5'3". Hell, he's shorter than me. And I'm 5'10". Um, but I can't think of anyone that could play Wolverine as good as Hugh Jackman did. Hugh is perfect as Wolverine. The anger when he brings out his claws and he's screaming and charging, he's brilliant as Wolverine. I will be sad to see him go, but he's made his decision, and we just have to respect that. He's had a blast playing Wolverine. There's no doubt about that. If he didn't have a blast, he wouldn't have done it for so long. But he's had a blast playing Wolverine. We've had a blast seeing him as Wolverine. And yeah, it'll be sad to see him go, but I'm glad we had all this time with him. So yeah, I mean, it's got a bit sad to the end of this video, but yeah, there's all the information about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, the teaser trailer, and Logan, the trailer. And again, I'm sorry I couldn't show you the actual trailers, but I didn't want to get into copyright problems. I didn't want to get in trouble for copyright infringement. So what I'll do is I may put links to Volume 2 and Logan in the description below. If not, a quick Google search or a quick YouTube search will bring them up because they're trending right now. You know, Wolverine, Logan, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, they're trending right now. I know that on Facebook. Other sites like Twitter, Instagram, they may be trending just as much. So be sure to check them out. And yeah, so leave a comment down below. Are you excited for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? Are you excited for Logan? Are you saddened that Logan is going to be the last Wolverine film? Are you sad that Hugh Jackman's leaving the role? What's your favorite Wolverine moment from the X franchise? Going back to the first X-Men film all the way up to now, what is your favorite Wolverine moment? What's your favorite Wolverine line? I know my favorite because it comes from the Wolverine, and you could probably figure it out, but I'm not going to say it. And back to Guardians, are you excited to see the gang back together? Are you excited to see Yondu as part of the team and Nebula? Are you looking forward to Mantis joining the team? Have you fallen in love with Baby Groot if you didn't like him in the first film? Leave a comment answering any of those questions in the spaces below. Don't forget to leave a like rating if you enjoyed this video. Add it to your favorites if you want to. If you want more content like this, more cosplay, more Comic-Cons, and a ton of other geek stuff, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And until the next video, I've been Mighty Mr. Mooresky. Y'all have a nice day.